Welcome back guys, Slowbacon here. Time for a Total War Warhammer battle replay. So this is a match that I played last night against Viking Cat. Now, if those of you who don't know who Viking Cat is, he is a very high-ranking tournament player. So he's won a lot of tournaments. And even in the tournaments he doesn't win, he usually ranks very, very highly. So he's a very, very good player. His main faction is the Greenskins, but he's equally as good with every other faction. I think it's just his favourite faction is the Greenskins. So I matched up against him last night in quick battles. We both kind of picked Greenskins at exactly the same time, and then we kind of had a wee chat, and we're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do a mirror matchup. Normally I wouldn't do mirror matchups because I find them quite boring, but when I have the opportunity to play against such a good player like Viking Cat, I'm not going to pass up that opportunity, even though the chances of me winning are next to none, right? But, you know, it's always good to learn from people that are better than you. So we'll just go through the armies. Now, surprisingly, both our armies are very, very similar. I'll go through mine first. This is a build that I've been working on for a wee while, and when I say a wee while, I mean 3 or 4 days. So let's go through it. So we've got the Death Creepers, which is the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers. We've got the Manger Marauders, which is the Golden Wolf Rider Archers. We've got a standard unit of Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers and a standard unit of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers as well. We've got 2 Savage Orc Biggins here, obviously deployed out on the flank here. Over on the other side, we've got this unit of Golden Wolf Riders. I just actually put this in for this particular map, mainly because occasionally like people will camp up here, or people will camp here with their artillery and stuff. I mean, like he's doing. Camping with artillery, yeah, you know what I mean. The artillery's not going to move. So once these lines actually push forward, usually we can just sweep around here with this unit and get onto the back of the artillery with that. That's basically what we do there. Right, and my front line is composed of 1, 2, 3, 4 Savage Orc Biggins and a unit of 8 Peak Lunars, of course being the Fanatics and Unbreakable. We have 1, 2 Goblin Big Bosses. I have Azag with Spirit, I think it's just Spirit Leech. And I brought Spirit Leech Fader Bajoon as well in there. And of course I have the Hammer of Gork Rock Lobber. And we've got a Night Goblin Shaman just with Itchy Nuisance on that one there. And what's the other spell thing if I can... the spell that stops magic from regenerating. Anyway, I can't remember what it's called. Right, so we'll have a look at his army. Like I say, very, very similar, which is quite interesting because I thought I had a unique army, but apparently not. Apparently not. So he's got 2 units of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Where's his other Kev? He's got 1 unit of Forest Goblin Spider Riders. This is the melee version. Actually, he's got 2 of them. Yeah, it's the melee version, not the range version. I've got the range version, he's got the melee version. He's got 2 Savage Orc Biggins, which is an interesting pick, I thought. Obviously, I generally just use the standard Orc Biggins, but he's actually brought the Savage Orc Biggins, which is, yeah, an interesting pick. He's got the Hammer of Gork as well, the same as what I do. He has 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 5 units of Savage Orc Biggins. Of course, I've got 4. He has the 8 Peak Loonies. Oh, no, he doesn't. Just a standard unit of Night Goblins. Now, that's a regiment of round. Yeah, that's the 8 Peak Loonies. Why is that not showing a name? I'm not sure. You can tell it's the 8 Peak Loonies because of their 100 leadership in there. So, yeah, same as there. Got 1, 2 Goblin Big Bosses, the same as me. He's got Night Goblin Shaman, again with Itchy Nuisance, and he has Sneaky Stabbing as well on his. I don't particularly bring Sneaky Stabbing because I don't think it's that great anymore since it's changed to a single target. He also has the scroll, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that reduces your cooldown on your spells. He's got that there. And leading his army, he's got just a standard Orc War Boss on a mount. On a Warven mount, of course, with a Potion of Toughness and a Potion of Full Hardiness. Of course, the double buffs on the Lords as well. I thought that was an interesting pick against another Greenskin army. Just because generally you'd bring Azag, right, for this matchup, because you're not going to be interrupted by other flyers. And, of course, you have Spirit Leech. Now, I didn't actually realise that he didn't have Azag until after the match. I didn't realise at all. Because he keeps his Lord quite far back for most of the match. So I thought he just didn't want to get into a Spirit Leech battle. Yeah, all right. So, like I say, I mean, very, very similar armies. He's got 1 more Savage Orc Biggin than I do. His front line is actually a wee bit better than mine. Range Cav-wise, obviously, I've got the advantage. He's got the advantage in standard Cav, obviously having 4 units of Cav to my 3 with my 2 here and the Wolf Rider over this side as well. But apart from that, pretty similar armies. Very, very interesting. Right, let's get into the match. Take that off. So he's starting off with his Wolf Rider archers, just coming in, trying to pepper the Savage Orcs a wee bit. These guys don't do a tremendous amount of damage, coming in at 16, and of course the Savage Orc Biggins have 30% damage reduction against physical, so that's going to drop that quite a bit lower. I've pulled my Wolf Rider, or my Wolf Rider, my Spider Rider range units down here to try and intercept these. Now he did a nice tactic here. He's actually focusing his Hammer of Gork onto these, which is a really good tactic, and it's going to pay off for him in the end. I'm actually targeting his artillery because of the debuff that we actually get on this here. So that debuff down the bottom gives a minus 40% accuracy on whatever it hits. So obviously if you can get that on top of artillery, that is fantastic. Right back into it. So I'm assuming this battle here is going to go in my favour, but I didn't account for the fact that he's going to be throwing rocks at me, which is actually going to turn out to be quite a big advantage for him coming into this battle here. I've also pulled my cavalry down. At this stage I can't see his cavalry, but I have pulled my cavalry down to try and just buffer against these guys a wee bit. And he has pulled his Forest Goblin Spider Riders forward as well to try and intercept these. Basically the same thing I'm doing with my Orc Boys, but he's doing it with his Spider Riders over here. So again, I'm just trying to shelter, I guess, push away his infantry units. But we are taking a heck of a lot of damage from this Goblin Hammer of Gork, sorry. It's already up to 33 kills coming into these. Now, kills besides, the thing that this here is actually doing is debuffing all my units. So all these have minus 40% accuracy at the moment, which is obviously tremendous for him. Not so good for me. Not so good for me. As you can see, these guys are actually starting to waver and break. These guys will waver and break quite a lot during the match, and they end up coming back. Yeah, again, pulling forward with his infantry force, or his cavalry force, sorry. I'm just trying to get out of range. I think I finally get a hit off. Yeah, so I'll finally hit this here now. And I've actually put that debuff on it. So now this has a minus 40% accuracy on this one here. And at this stage, he's actually started to push forward with his line. Obviously, his line of Savage Orcs Biggins against my line of Savage Orc Biggins. Again, remembering he has an extra unit of Savage Orc Biggins in his front line compared to mine. I'll pull my cavalry back into the trees because I've had enough of taking that artillery fire, so I want to get out of there as much as possible. Just bring Azag up. Again, I didn't realise he didn't have Azag at this stage. So yeah, just trying to bring him up and just see what we can see. I was kind of expecting a few more archers. Again, we got another hit into this Hammer of Gork. But his Hammer of Gork's up to 49 kills already. Mine's only up to 16. But again, I'm shooting artillery. He was shooting into a lot of that stuff over there. So just trying to keep that debuff on these guys as much as possible. You also notice I haven't moved this unit of Wolf Riders yet. Dropping a Spirit Leech onto this Goblin Big Boss, because he was keeping his Lord so far away, I just wanted to get some damage out there and just do as much damage as possible. Now here I think he made kind of a mistake. He's pulled this unit of Savage Orc Biggins back in here to try and help out the cavalry, which actually means this front lines are now even. So he's got 4 units of Savage Orc Biggins. I've got 4 units of Savage Orc Biggins. The only difference is his Goblin Big Boss has been hurt. My Goblin Big Boss is going to be coming in here. He sends this other Goblin Big Boss up this way to try and get this Goblin Big Boss here, but of course he can't see these 8-peak loonies at the moment, and obviously this fight's going to go in my favour because I have the extra unit here to support. Dropping well, it's actually double Itchy Nuisance going down here, one from me, one from him. And you'll see this, yeah, this Golden Big Boss here is just taking a bit of a hammering. I don't know what it's doing with this dude here. Absolutely nothing, apparently. And this line got absolutely crushed because of that dive in there from Azag, which was fantastic. 8-peak loonies coming in a bit late. Now this line here is actually very interesting because he now has 3 units fighting 1. So this is, and you know, they're not going to get value out of that engagement because, again, there's 3 units there against my 1, and my 1 unit will hold out quite a while because there's only so much surface area which they can attack into here. I've absolutely crushed his front line now that he's pulled off his other unit of Savage Orc Biggins, which is over here to try and help out this cavalry fight. My cavalry's still surviving pretty well. My archers have kind of come back into their own, which is pretty good. This fight here, oh, we just kind of missed it, unfortunately. So the 2 lords are fighting in the air. For whatever reason, he decided to dive down here and engage in a melee fight. But as you can see down here, I have 1, 2, 3, say 3 and a bit units of Savage Orcs. I've still got the 8-peak loonies. I've got my Goblin Big Boss as well. He's got, obviously, his Lord, 1 unit of Savage Orc Biggins, and his 8-peak loonies as well into this fight. Why he decided to dive, I don't know. I think if he stayed in the air, he would have won that engagement. because I'm dropping Spirit Leech on him, well I will at some stage. I might have already done it, I just missed it. Right, he's popped his potion of toughness, and of course in a 1v1 fight, the Orc War Boss should win this, but because it's not a 1v1 fight, all these Savage Orcs are going to do massive damage against this Lord, because obviously he counts as large. Yeah, I think that was a critical error right there, trying to deal with that Lord. And as you can see, his potion of toughness and potion of full hardiness just wore off, so that's why his leadership just dropped. And yeah, there's just so many Savage Orcs down here for me. I think that was a mistake. If he stayed in the air, I think he would have won that engagement quite comfortably. Especially with the potion of toughness that he's got in there. Right, so his big boss is routing, his war boss is routing, sorry. And I'm going to go and chase him down in a minute. Over here with the Cavalry Fight, my little dudes are doing quite well still. Just trying to pepper into the back. This Goblin big boss is occupying a unit of Savage Orc Biggins and a unit of Savage Orc Ballboy Biggins. So pretty good value for me here, because that's what, 800,000? 1100. There's an 1800 value there for like 500 of mine. So very, very good engagement there for me. These guys are still doing pretty well. Still just pumping out the damage onto the back of these Savage Orc Biggins. Again, you know, they're not shielded, but they do have that 30% damage reduction against physical. Unfortunately, most of my damage is actually poison that's coming out here, so it's not going to give as much damage reduction as it normally would. Right, we're chasing that big boss off the map. Get him, Isaac! Get him! And he's gone. So that's obviously going to hurt the Greenskins leadership quite dramatically. Obviously for Viking King's unit there. So as soon as that guy went off, you're seeing this unit here just broke instantly. He does still have, where is he? Over here. He does still have his Night Goblin Shaman, which will keep the leadership up a wee bit, but it's not going to be a tremendous amount. Nice rear charge in here. Nice rear charge by these Savage Orc Biggins. Again, interesting pick. You know, I don't really use them that often, just because they're slightly more expensive. Obviously, yeah, they're $1,000 in the Savage Orc and the Standard Orc Biggins. Sorry, 900. So, yeah, just a wee bit of extra cost there, which I don't think you particularly need. But that 30% damage reduction is pretty good. Obviously, they're taking out my artillery, which is kind of done its usefulness right up at this stage into the match. Right, so his front infantry line has basically been destroyed. He's got one unit left here and a couple of routing units over this side, but that's it. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to dive in on this Lord here. Get him, Isaac! Get him! Eat him up! Eat him up! Skull butcher! Got him! Right, and at that stage, that's the greenskin of Viking Cats gone, and of course, all the rest of his troops are gonna break after that. My God, this was an intense match, guys. Just watching it on replay, I'm fucking sweating. There's just so much stuff going on all over the map. I know I've missed so much stuff, but there's just so much stuff going on all over the map. Engagements going on over here between the two different cavalry forces. Obviously, the infantry fight going on here. The lords and stuff. The artillery fight. There's just so much stuff going on all over the match. Now, I didn't actually realise that he had these left. I knew he had something, but I didn't actually see these. Now, luckily, he's actually committed to this fight to kill these off, which is pretty awesome. We're just going to fast forward this, because this is just the end of it. Now, we had a wee chat after the match. Very nice guy, actually, Viking Cat. Very, very nice guy. And after we finished this, I added him on Steam, and we actually ended up playing custom battles for about the next 4 hours. So that was pretty fun. It's really nice to get into the mindset of somebody who plays at like the top level of Total War Warhammer multiplayer. And he's given me some interesting builds to try out. So he was basically just practicing for an upcoming tournament that he's got. And I was basically being his guinea pig to try them against. So it was pretty fun. I say, really nice guy. Hopefully we can have some more matches in the future. Now, I do have to show another match that we had at his request. He wants me to show it. So that'll probably be in the next day or two. I'll show you guys that one as well. Yeah, he asked me to show it, so we will show that one. All right, so let's just have a look at the kill numbers. So as they're coming in with 11, not tremendous amount, but kind of what we expect. I just want to compare the matches. So as they got 11... his war boss got 16, so, you know, about even. The Night Goblin Big Boss is not going to get any because they're not fighting. Goblin Big Boss is 13 and 14, 7 and 6, so mine did a wee bit better. 8 peak loonies, mine slightly better again. Savage Orcs, let's just go through them quickly. 50, 60, 82 and 54. 60, 52, 33, 60 and 29. Mine did have to perform a bit better because he did have an extra unit, although he did commit one of his to the Cavalry Fight, which I do think was kind of a mistake. I think if he kept his front line intact and attacked into my front line. Obviously, he had the numbers advantage. I think he would have won that one quite comfortably. All right, let's have a look at the cavalry side of things. So 40 and 24 on mine. And this dude here is the MVP coming in with 87 kills and 18 on this unit here. As far as his range stuff goes, 13 and 11 on his Wolf Riders. I got 5, 15, 34, and 29 on my squad. His artillery did slightly better than mine, coming with 80 kills, and mine coming in with 52. A lot of that was to do with the start of the fight, where, of course, he was firing into these 4 here, whereas I was firing into him, trying to get rid of him there. And, of course, he had these 2 Forest Goblin Spider Riders as well, coming in with 26 and 8 kills, respectively. Awesome. All right, guys. So, yeah. Obviously, after the match, we were chatting and stuff, and I told him that I was going to put it up on YouTube because, you know, I have to, right? It's Viking Cat. And he's like, oh, man, YouTubers only ever put up whenever I lose. But as you guys know, I would have put it up regardless, win or loss, as long as it was a good matchup, which it was. Win or lose, I would have put it up either way. And like I said, there is another video that he wants me to show you from a match we had last night, so I've got that one saved. So I'll record that one in the next couple of days and stick that one up for you. Very interesting matchup, the next one as well. Yeah, very interesting. All right, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.